This sentence is true, brackets, the previous sentence is false, end brackets, by Sheila Chandra with the Ganges Orchestra on Indie Pop Records, and it was released 2001. Somehow it's sold over 50,000 albums, top 10 world music charts, because, I say somehow, because if you only know Sheila's 4 beautiful solo voice albums that she made in the 1990s for Peter Gabriel's Real World label, you'll get quite a shock, I think. And that was one of the reasons to do it, to stretch ourselves, Sheila in particular, and just kind of, I suppose, clear the palette a little, ready for whatever she might fancy doing next. In this sentence, it's true, you've got the distinctive Sheila vocals, yes, they're there, the drones and some spoken percussion. So all is normal and what you might expect so far. But so are the Ganges Orchestra's mischievous, playful, it affects and distorts and surprises. So, and they're creating the musical settings for Sheila, who is doing a few unusual things with her voice as well. This was the last album Sheila recorded for Indie Pop, and it may be her last ever, according to her recent press release. At the moment, we're recording this interview in 2012, and according to her press release, it doesn't give much hope that she'll ever record again. It's a tragic situation. I can hardly believe it, and we have to hope and believe that there'll be a miracle. Well, aside of Indie Pop re-releasing her solo albums in their original sleeves as downloads, Real World are also repackaging Sheila's 4 CDs with them and re-promoting those albums. And as the Monsoon album is still available, it means all her work's going to be out there, and that hasn't always happened. Sometimes, like the Indie Pop stuff's maybe been deleted for 3 or 4 years whilst we're looking for a new license and all that kind of thing. So it's a bit like the classic London red buses. They all seem to come at once. This sentence is true. It continues some of the sound manipulation and experimentation begun on the EEPs, again recorded with the Ganges Orchestra, whereas her Real World solo albums had focused on a solo vocal line, which, I feel some people hear the gloss and the beauty and forget that it's actually in the content. It's quite radical what she was doing, and she just beautifully honed it, and not everyone realised how edgy it was. This is my opinion, but a few reviewers started to just really take note of what a brave and beautiful artist she is. One of the tracks, one of my favourites on This Sentence Is True, is Above Crown Jones 7. It's the last track on the album. It lasts 15 minutes, and within the bones of this rich, sonorous drone is Sheila's voice, often semi-submerged, like we did on a lot of the Above Crown Jones album. But this is one that we never got around to, and we wanted to on this album, because it's submerged tantalizingly in the mix, kind of underneath the wave of the drone, and it kind of builds and never lets you go. For this album, Hugh Jones came in as mixing engineer on several tracks, and he honed some of these recordings. And Hugh last worked with us on Monsoon in 1982, and so it was a lot of fun and a really good reconnection. And his attention to detail and love of working with people who like an edge in their music, that's not gone away, and really meant a lot to us to have Hugh there. Back at Rockfield as well, where he worked with us. And this recording was released in 2001. And I can only say, if you're up-and-coming band, I think Hugh's still working, I hope he is. If you're an emerging band, Hugh's your guy. He likes melody and he likes experimentation, and he likes working with bands that are kind of new, and maybe it's all the love of the music. This would be a good point to read a few of the reviews. I'll read first some of them from the 1990s, and then you can see how, because this album was a success and it touched a lot of people, saw the other side of what Sheila does. One here from What's on Chandra is one of the most distinctive, imaginative, and unbelievable vocalists you'll ever hear. Another one is from Uncut, one of the most compelling, powerful, and underrated voices of our time. The Times said, if you haven't heard it before, prepare to be amazed. This is from Nexus. She's known as a pioneer in world music and a legend for her experimental work with lyricless tones and drones, her vocal percussion techniques and minimalist style. To hear her stand alone on stage and deliver a carefully threaded musical tapestry of sound is a life experience. So that was before This Sentence Is True. What we get from the press digest from This Sentence Is True is things like the Boston Globe say, Chandra uses her deep, ethereal vocals and imaginative vision to paint a musical masterpiece. Billboard says a genuinely innovative album that doesn't really belong in any conventional or recognised genre of music. The Independent in England said, with the airy indie pop of 80s group Monsoon now a far distant memory, it's high time that Sheila Chandra was appreciated as the rather extraordinary musician that she is. A couple more. This album is different. Brackets. The previous ones were too. Chandra doesn't make flippant music. A challenging work both intellectually and sonically. This Sentence Is True warrants a loud listen through headphones. And I think the last one is from Q. Sheila has been assiduously ploughing her own furrow since she left early 80s Indian popsters Monsoon. Experimenting with vocal textures and world beats, this album is her most fully realised yet.